Vices. What vices are keeping you from achieving the big stack? Gambling. I'm what you might call a poker hound. Back when I was a bachelor, I used to spend 2 or 3 days a week chasing no-limit hold'em poker tournaments. I read a poker book and I was about 3/4 of the way through it and ended up winning 2 tournaments back-to-back on a Tuesday and Wednesday night. That set me up with a couple $1,000 and I, of course, was hooked. I still do play some small poker tournaments between $45 and $65, so that's been taking a bit off my stacking progress. This is a vice I will continue to chase a bit, as I would like to get into a few WSOP tournaments and maybe some larger events like that. Food, more specifically eating out. I do Starbucks coffee every few mornings as a treat to myself for making it to the ever so joyous thing I like to call work. The really bad part is, every other night or so, me and the missus are out on the prowl for food. We often do not plan our meals, so when we get hungry, we eventually break down and drive to some local cuisine, mostly chain restaurants, unfortunately. Money down the tubes. We started making fruit smoothies to replace some meals, so hopefully we are more successful with that. Plus, it's the only time we've used the blender we got for a wedding present a few years back. Motorcycles. I recently sold my Harley-Davidson Sportster. Had it for 3 years, sold it for $9,000. That money was put to good use, but when I saw the latest offering from Honda, the 2014 Honda Grom with a 125cc engine, I couldn't help myself. Plus, the missus let me. Actually, I probably would have been on a waiting list, but one of the first suitors for the bike dropped out due to expecting a new family member. His loss, my gain, my stack loss. Plus, it's in the same class as the Honda Ruckus. With its cult following and all the accessorizing and fun form discussion, it's going to cost me a small fortune. One vice that used to plague me was beer. In college, I used to drink a few nights a week, and I'm not saying that's all bad. It was the style in which I used to consume the beverage. Mass quantities, binge drinking if you will, cost me thousands. I'm doing really well with this now. I no longer have to have drinks around. Actually, I have a few left over from camping. Gotta have beer camping, right? I haven't touched them in over a month. So back to social drinking, or when I've earned a beer, or when there's a campfire around. So the point of my video is for everyone to confess their vices, mostly the ones that could be taken away from your stack. Throw it here in the comments. Admission is the first step to freedom. So instead of a 12-step style introduction of our vices, let's do the opposite, and on a positive note say, "Hi YouTube, my name is Lance Away, and I'm a stacker."